What's going on, 49er Faithful, 49er fam, 49er gang? This is your boy Niner Gang Podcast back in the building. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notification so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, let's get right on into it. This one is just a week 6 recap, of what happened in the NFL last week. So week 6 was full of surprises, a few upsets, a few different things that we didn't get a chance to really see. So let's go ahead and take a look at what happened the weekend in football. So as you can see, we started off with the Thursday night game. And we start off with the Eagles versus the Giants. Now, this is a divisional game. Divisional games, as I've stated before, are always harder. And it's always like that. So at the end of the day, nice thing is when it comes to division games, you know you have a chance. You could be one of the worst teams in the league, but in a divisional game, you've got a shot. Why? You know the team, you know their personnel, you play them several times a year. It becomes a repetitive thing. You start to understand people, tendencies, little things like years ago, Darrelle Revis used to, he said, Chad Johnson asked Darrelle Revis, how do you know I'm getting the ball? He said, you tug on your right glove twice when the ball is coming to you every time. It's a tell. So you start to see all these things, and that's what makes it easier. So I picked the Eagles. I know for a fact I picked the Eagles last week in my game picks, which I will be giving out probably later today or maybe even tomorrow. As far as that goes. So unfortunately, what happened? Hey, Giants come in, beat the brakes off of the Eagles. Scatterboo and Jackson Dart out here. That is a serious bromance in ways you cannot imagine. Those dudes are like, hey, we're gonna run this together. We're gonna, bring the Giants back to prominence. So currently, right now, the Giants record stands 2-4, and the Eagles record stands at 4-2. The people that are atop the NFC in general are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are 5-1. They just beat us, the San Francisco 49ers, to be 5-1. Now, the 49ers, of course, are still tops in their division, as are the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe they're still tops in their division. But when you take a look at the tail of the tape, basically it was simple. Eagles did all their scoring in the first half, and the Giants shut them down in the second. And they did not give up anything. No points whatsoever, no points, no field goals, anything. So basically that tells you Eagles showed up in the first half on offense and disappeared in the second half. And basically it tells you as far as the Giants defense, hey, first half we allowed a lot. We were tied. Looks like they were up by 3 at the half, 20-17. And then the rest of the game, Giants said, we ain't giving up nothing. We give you anything. You're going to have to work for it and earn it. Of course, you see 1 TD, 1 interception from Jalen Hurts, 1 TD from Jackson Dart. Then you got Cam Scatterboo with 3 touchdowns and Jackson Dart with the rushing touchdown. So that tells you exactly what happened. One offense was on, one offense wasn't. And look at it, Saquon Barkley, 12 carries, 58 yards. This is why I said, people, what's going on, TD? What's going on, Jet? This is why I've said a million times over. When it comes to the Madden curse, you have one of 2 options. 1, you get injured like crazy. You wind up having an injury-riddled season. Or 2, you have a regression of the season. Saquon Barkley with 58 yards in the game is actually horrible. Now, mind you, yes, his average is 4.8. But then you come in and you take a look at it and, so you had 12 carries, so you break that down, that was 18 yards. So you take away the 18, that leaves you with 40. So then you have 11 carries for 40 yards. So he's still averaging almost 4 yards a carry. But the issue is there's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? So this is always how it is. And when you come over and look at the Giants, man, not one single person was over 100 yards, but 4 rushing touchdowns. That tells you that the Eagles' rushing defense is horrible, and that tells you that the rush offense for the Giants is looking a little bit better. With this, I'm getting really tired of this. 6 catches, 80 yards. They're just dogging my dude, A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown need to go somewhere else where they're going to actually go ahead and do it. I appreciate the TD. I actually just came from the gym, trying to make sure he – Elder You gonna give me, hey, but all I have to say is, ooh, and I like it. Da-na-na-na. That you come on now, you gotta know about that other bars, boy. You send chills up my spine. That's a jam. But either way, man, when you take a look at it, we see the passing. It's crazy to see that one team had because it looks like they kind of wind up even out on offense. Of course, then you got AJ Dillon. He had a fumble and he lost it. So you got 2 turnovers in the game. That does not bode well. And then you come in, you take a look at it. Got 2 sacks on Jackson Dart, Patrick Johnson, and Jordan Davis. And then when you come over, they sacked Jalen Hurts 3 times. As far as that's concerned, you got 2 sacks by Brian Burns and one from Darius Muasau. I think that's how you say his name. Don't judge my life. I'm not really good with that. That 1 interception by Cordell Flott. And then, of course, you know what I'm saying, you got a couple kick returns and whatnot. Looks like the kickers were pretty spot on for Philly. Of course, we got 1 extra point missed by Jude Macatemi. Oh, that's a serious last name. Okay. He missed 1 of his extra points, but it really didn't make a difference. Just what added up to 35. So him missing that kick doesn't matter. But that is an epidemic in the league right now. Kickers are out there missing kick selection, right? But as you can see, man, this was definitely a little bit of an upset. I'm pretty sure most people were taking the Philadelphia Eagles, not the Giants. But hey, it is what it is. These things happen, man. And you go back to it. So you take a look at it, Broncos versus the Jets. This was a defensive battle. You can tell that just from the score, 13-11. That means that these defenses were playing hard, and they were out there making sure neither quarterback, neither running back, nobody had nothing. You see the Denver rushing, they had, how many people? They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different people rush the ball. Some of these people definitely had to be fullbacks or tight ends. And maybe I think Marvin Mims is a receiver. So they tried just about any and everything to get something going, and it wasn't working. The Jets defense was very stingy. Yeah, look at this. Second quarter, neither of them scored. And then basically 6-0, 5-0. What? That tells you it was a defensive game, and that tells you there was a safety at some point. Because the only way you can do that is wind up having you know what I'm saying, 2 points is having a safety. There is no other way to get 2 points. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. It's literally the only way you can get that. So Breece Hall, 22 carries, 59 yards, 2.7 yards a carry. Trash. Justin Fields, 9 out of 17 for 45 yards. That's all you could muster. And you got weapons on offense. So that's pretty pathetic. I'm sorry. That's very pathetic. You didn't even break 100, not even 50 yards passing. I don't know what's happening, but here's the issue right here. 9 sacks by the Denver defense. 9 of them. 9. That is bad. That's really bad. I've never seen anything. Man, wow. Your offensive line is horrid. So that just tells me, Jets, y'all need to do the same thing 49ers need to do. You need to focus on building your offensive line so that your quarterback has time to do something. Because when your quarterback doesn't break 50 yards and he's sacked 9 times, that tells you there is a massive issue with your offensive line. And here's the thing. What I'm going to say is, because this is always going to be a situation where people are going to be like, oh, well, mobile quarterbacks, sometimes they run into sacks. Mobile quarterbacks are good because of their mobility. Sometimes it can be a detriment, yes. But when there are 9 times that you were sacked, that ain't on the mobile quarterback. That's on that porous offensive line. Those people should be ashamed of themselves. Tommy, what's going on, man? How you doing, fucker? Let's see what we got here. So when you take a look at this, man, like I said, Denver didn't score second and third quarter. They scored in the first and they scored in the fourth. And then the Jets, they scored in the first and the third, and they didn't score in the second or the fourth. But this was definitely a defensive struggle. Neither team really gave up much. The Jets find themselves as, I think, the only winless team in the league right now. They are 0-6. Even the Titans got to win. But the Jets just, I don't know, man. It's falling apart. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know why any head coach picks the Jets' job. what's the significance of such? You know what I'm saying? You said, don't, what the, this guy right here. But I'm not even lying to you, man. Like the Jets look bad. And for you to give up 9 sacks is horrible. So let's take 3 for 25, 3 for 13. This is Garrett Wilson, Josh Reynolds. Like, this is bad. Look at these numbers are horrible. And then on top of that, you got on the other side of the ball, I mean, it was 174 yards, so it was all right. It wasn't great. Nate Atkins, the only person to catch a touchdown. So you got Evan Ingram, Marvin Mims. I'm not – Cortland Sutton with 1 catch for 17 yards. Oh, that definitely mean that defense was balling. So then here you go. You got a couple fumbles. You got a few on both sides. And then let's take a look at who was out there just making Justin Fields' life a living hell. So we got half a sack from Brandon Jones. We got Nick Bonito with a sack. Justin Strand, I don't know how to say his name's Justin. He had 1.5 sacks. My boy, I miss him so much right now. I really do. My boy, Talanoa Hufanga in there with a sack, man. And he had 2 TFLs. And he had a pass defense. I miss her. I don't care what anybody says. A lot of y'all don't like him, and a lot of y'all didn't care for her, but I do, and I miss him. Jonathan Cooper, he had 2 sacks. Ioma, I'm not even going to try that. He had a sack. Zach Allen had a sack. John Franklin Myers had it. They just basically was handing out sacks to any and everybody. And then on their side, you got Jermaine Johnson, 1 dude with 1 sack. When you take a look at the kicking here, Will Lutz was money. And you know what? Nick Folk was money. Nick Folk went out there and did his job, folks. He did what he could. He gave you 3 of 3, man. You can't ask much else from your kicker when that happens. But this was just a defensive struggle, as you can see. And 9 sacks given up. Yeah, Jets, y'all got problems. You got major problems. Moving on, we go to the Colts versus the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals are falling flat on their face, man. They started out hot, and I think I have to look at it, but let me take a look really quick. Let me see if they've lost 3 or 4 straight, because this is bad. Yeah, 4 straight. They started out 2-0. In the last few games that they've had, 4 straight games, all L's. Now, mind you, these games are close. They lost by 1 point to us, 3 points to the Seahawks, 1 point to the Titans. And for this one, this was 6 points. 4 points. I apologize. So 4 points to the Colts. So that tells you, you know what I mean, that they're in these games, they just don't finish. And that's probably the biggest issue. Now, mind you, Jacoby Brissett looked a lot better than Kyler Murray, but that's because the man can see over the offensive line, and he's actually tall enough to do so. So he had 320 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception. He was sacked twice. Flip over Daniel Jones. It's a little bit of a step back game for him, because the Colts have been a really, really high scoring offense. Him having 212 yards and 2 TDs. I mean, 2 TDs, 1 interception. I mean, the same kind of stat line from a TD interception standpoint as Jacoby Brissett. But then, of course, here it comes. You got Jonathan Taylor. He had a rushing touchdown. Daniel Jones had a rushing touchdown. Bam Knight scored for the Cardinals. And then you see Amari DiMercato with 1 touch. Now, we all know what happened with DiMercato. What's going on, Rick? We all know what happened with DiMercato and what happened there. You know what I'm saying? Just y'all stay out the comments making me feel bad. I ain't even got to our game yet. We're gonna do the preview Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. You will see me, B-Dubs. We're gonna do a preview for the Falcons game. So when you come down to it and you take a look at it, we all know the situation with DiMercato. We saw what happened with him and the coach on the sidelines. And, of course, I know the coach came out and apologized. That's just hard coaching, people. You got coached like that when you were in Pop Warner. So you getting coached like that when you're a man shouldn't really bother you, to be honest with you. These Pop Warner head coaches be yelling and cursing at these kids. And if these kids can man up and take that, a little quick pop to the chest and being pissed off because you screwed up and pulled the Deshaun Jackson when everybody knows you shouldn't be doing that. It is what it is. Oh, you're going to be at that game. Oh, well, hey, Steve-O, have fun, bro. Have fun, man, and stay safe. We travel deep, so we always solid. You're getting any crap, just turn around. Niner fans, we protect each other. Don't want you to, of course. Want you to go just have a good time, have a couple beers, and do what you got to do. But okay. Oh, okay. So we got two people going. Okay. Well, look, Steve-O, Jet, y'all see each other, meet each other, greet each other, man. But what happened is this is basically the drawback. Now you don't get carries. You see, he got one carry, and DeMercado is way better than Bam Knight. He honestly is. I've seen him in backup duties for Connor. DeMercado is solid, so he should have been starting. But it is what it is. Then you come over, like I said, Jonathan Taylor, another game, 100 yards, 5.9 yards a carry, TD. Like, this dude is balling this year. Jonathan Taylor right now, to me, is the best running back in the game. He's just balling too much. It's crazy. So next thing here, we got the receiving. Of course, lots of different guys they try to hit. Spread the ball out. That's how you get to the 320 yards. You only got the 2 TDs, one from Greg Dorsey, other from Trey McBride, so 2 tight ends. Then you come over to the Indianapolis Colts. Tyler Warren, he had a touchdown. Josh Downs had a touchdown. Pittman only had 2 catches for 20 yards. So it tells you that the defense for the Cardinals was looking pretty good. Then you come over here, you take a look at it, man. You got that one lone sack by Baron Browning. Over here on the Colts side, you have 2 sacks, and they both came from Kwity Paye. You come down, you take a look at the kickers, because I'm going to definitely be talking about that. So Chad Ryland, money, did his thing. Same thing for Michael Badgley, money. These kickers knew what they had to do. They did their jobs, and that was that. So each team scored in every single quarter. It's just kind of flip-flopped when you take a look at it, because in the third, the Cardinals scored 14, and in the fourth, the Colts scored 14, and that's what gave them the chance to get over the top. Colts currently 5-1, and Cardinals, like I said, just taking a deep dive back down that rabbit hole of nothingness. And I do feel bad for them, but at the end of the day, you just got to be smarter about it. You got to be quicker. That's truthfully it. And you got to be better about it, man. You got to find a way to be able to get these wins, because it's going to be rough out there trying to make it happen. So let's move on. We got the Chargers versus the Dolphins. Chargers get the dub. Dolphins take another L. It's only a 2-point loss. But here's the thing. Miami scored in every quarter except for the third. And the Chargers scored in every quarter, period. And that's what helped them win. That's what got them over the hump. So when you take a look at it, Justin Herbert, 29-38, 264 yards, 2 TDs, only took 1 sack. 2 sacks on Tua Tagovailoa. He had 205 yards, 1 TD, but here is the issue. 3 interceptions. Most quarterbacks don't win games when they throw the 3 interceptions. It's extremely rare that happens. So it is what it is. That lets you know, I'm sorry. This is one of the things I'm going to say. And I think I'm going to probably even do a show on this, and maybe even probably do some shorts on some guys that just got paid and don't deserve the money. And yes, I'm talking from the outside, and yes, football is hard, but at the end of the day, you guys get paid ridiculous sums of money, and you can't do simple things such as your job. That don't make sense, because if I don't do my job, I just get fired. And if you don't do your job, you just go somewhere else and get paid again, because people are just out there hunting for a quarterback, and it don't make no sense. I'm sorry. I would never have paid Tua Tagovailoa that kind of money. I would have moved on and found me a different quarterback. The unfortunate thing is the man is injury prone. We got to be very mindful of any kind of concussion he gets, because he gets them a lot. If he gets hit the wrong way, like it's not working. So when you take a look at it and you look at the rushing, we don't see Omarion Hampton here. We see Kamani Vidal, 18 carries, 124 yards, 6.9 yards a carry. That ain't bad. Achane, 16 for 128 and 2 TDs. So Achane basically sitting there saying, I did what I could, bro. I don't know what else you want me to do. Tell that dude over there stop throwing picks, and maybe we might win a game. Then you come over to the receiving. Ladd McConkey, 7 for 100. Then Woody Tutty. You take a look at the rest of this stuff, man. You got Oronde Gadsden. He had a fumble, and he lost it for the Chargers. Keenan Allen had a fumble, but he recovered it. They had a fumble, but that was just a fumble recovery from Jordan Brooks. Look at the receiving. Jalen Waddle, 6 catches, 95 yards. The rest of these dudes, pointless to even talk about. And then leading tackler, Deion Henley, son of Big U from the Rolling 60s, who is currently, unfortunately, serving prison time and may never get out. Odafe Owe, he got 1 sack, and then we have another sack from Tuli Tuipulotu. I'm going to say that slowly because I think that's how it's said. You come over, you take a look at the Miami defense, and you got that 1 lone sack from Kenneth Grant, and everything else is nothing. You only got 2 passes defense, and that was by none other than Minkah Fitzpatrick, who finds himself back in Miami after being traded back there from being a Steeler. He was moved on from them. It's kind of weird. But you got your 3 interceptions: Derwin James, Tony Jefferson, Benjamin St. Just or Juiced. You come and take a look at the kicking, and Cameron Dicker, money. Riley Patterson, not money. And see, this is why I say kickers matter, because Riley Patterson missing his kick is the difference between the Dolphins winning this game. If he makes that extra field goal, that's 3 points that put you at 30 instead of 27, and then it's 30 to 29, and you get the dub. This is why I always say it matters. So Deion Henley is Big U's son. His basically Deion Henley don't have to worry about moving around to LA because of who his dad is. You know what I'm saying? I can't deal with you, Turdo. I can't do it. I'm not going to do this with you right now. But I completely brazed over that one. But yeah, man, it's crazy because, of course, I'm from LA, so I didn't live in the 60s hood, but I had to travel through there on plenty of different occasions. I've been through there, I've been around it, all of that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Big U is one of the founders of the Rolling 60 Crips. I wouldn't say founder, but he's big. He's a big dog. He still got pulled over there in his hood, no matter what a lot of people say. You know what I'm saying? He's still well respected. But unfortunately, yeah, he's got some stuff going on, some legal stuff. Hopefully he gets that figured out. But we're going to move on from this game. Basically, Chargers take the dub, 29-27. Next game up on the list, the Patriots just keep on winning, and the Saints just keep on losing. This is nothing new. This is what we have. So you got Drake May, 18 carries, 18 passes, 261 yards, 3 TDs. Great stat line. Nothing to be worried about. Only sacked once. I'll take it. Drake May leading the team in rushing, 9 carries, 28 yards. Travion Henderson, 9 for 27. So, you know what I'm saying? Nothing spectacular about a run game here. And then you've got Keyshawn Boot, 5 for 93 with 2 touchdowns. Demario Douglas, 3 for 71 with 1 TD. Then you got a couple of from Mac Hollins and Stephon Diggs and whatnot. Then you come over to look at the Saints. Spencer Rattler, 20 for 26, 227. No TDs, no interceptions, but he was sacked twice. Alvin Kamara, 10 carries for 31 yards. Pathetic. Chris Olave, 6 catches, 98 yards. Alvin Kamara, 5 for 48. She 4 for 28. Like, these numbers are just bad. It just tells you that the offense for the Saints barely exists. You know what I'm saying? Because how do you get 19 points when you only have 1 rushing touchdown, and that was from Taysom Hill? So that means that your kicker was at work a lot. But then you come down, you take a look at it. Several fumbles. The New England Patriots, you know what I'm saying? They had 3, they had 3 fumbles in total, and they only recovered 1. So that means that they didn't, they recovered 2 of them. But it means that basically the Saints didn't take advantage of that turnover, unfortunately. Then you just take a look at it, man. Pete Werner, the only person who had a sack. You're looking at this list, and I don't know if he's injured or not, but I am not seeing Cam Jordan all the way down at the bottom. 1 tackle from Cam Jordan? That's bad. That's really bad. And Cam usually is a monster on the field. Marcus Jones had 1 sack, and then the other one came from Harold Landry III, which y'all know Harold Landry. That's just who he is. And then you come down and take a look at the kickers. Andy Borregales, he was money. And Blake Grupe, he was money. And Grupe has been missing a lot. He actually has. And for him to be money, he was 4 for 4. So that's why I said he was at work. So 4 for 4, and then that's 13 points. So that means that literally your kicker scored almost all your points. when that says you got problems on your offense and you need to fix that ASAP. You know what I'm saying? The Patriots scored in every quarter except for the fourth. The Saints scored in every quarter except for the third. But it wouldn't make a difference because your offense is porous and it's not good enough. You can't have that. You've got to be better about it. So moving on, we got the Steelers and the Browns, and this is getting a little out of hand with the Browns. We'll talk about that at the end. But Dylan Gabriel, 29 to 50. That man threw the ball 52 times. That's unheard of. In an individual 52, you have Quinshon Judkins. You threw the ball 52 times and ran the ball 17. Cleveland, y'all got problems. Y'all got bigger problems. Y'all got bigger problems than your quarterback. This is a horribly lopsided game. There's no reason you should be throwing the ball 52 times and running it 17, especially with Judkins. Judkins is actually a really good running back, and he's been showing that all season. I don't get it. So Aaron Rodgers, 21 to 30, 235 yards, 2 TDs. And then, of course, no rushing TDs from anybody, but got Jalen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell, Caleb Johnson. And then here you got DK Metcalf, 4 catches, 95 yards with the tutty. Connor Hayward, 1 catch, 12 yards with the tutty. You go over here to the receptions for the Cleveland Browns. You got several different guys. You got David Njoku, Jerry Jeudy, Harold Fenton Jr. You get a couple different dudes with some numbers, but nothing spectacular. So you come over, look at the defense. Then you've got no sacks for the Cleveland defense, none. And you've got 6 sacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, 6 of them. So your quarterback was sacked. That means that tells me that your offensive line is still bad, and you don't have anybody to protect your quarterback if he gets sacked 6 times. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm sorry, I'll talk about that at the end. But 6 sacks, yeah. Jalen Ramsey had 2. T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith combined for another. Then you had Derek Hammond, he had 1. Then you had Nick Herbig, he had 2. So that just tells you these guys are on top of it. 8 passes defense too as well. Like, this is insane. Of course, Joey Porter Jr., T.J. Watt, Darius Slay, James Pierre, Nick Herbig. Like, these Patrick Queen, the defense showed up and showed out. Cleveland literally scored in every quarter but the first, but they only was using a kicker, and that was it. So Andre Schmites, he was money, and he scored every point he could. He did his job. You can't be mad at him. Chris Boswell, he missed the kick, but didn't even make a difference at this point, because that would have just been 20 to 9, and it would just took a little bit less off of the win. But 23 to 9, that's ugly, man. And 6 sacks. So you got this man sacked 6 times. He lost 38 yards in total on the sacks, and you had him throw the ball 52 times. Let me stop sharing for just a quick moment. I'm going to go back to the games, but I'm going to talk about this for just a quick second, because I want y'all's opinion on this. What's going on, Papa J? At the end of the day, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot ask your quarterback to throw the ball 52 times. You can't, especially a rookie, fresh out of college. Now, look, I know Dylan Gabriel's first start wasn't too bad. Second start, this start right now, ugly. And we all know the situation in Cleveland. We all know the situation with Stefanski. And somebody gave me a different point of view, and a lot of people are basically saying that he doesn't want to play Shedeur because he doesn't want Deion coming for his job. Because he feels like if he plays Shedeur, then that's going to prompt Deion to want to leave Colorado. Deion has said on many different occasions, I ain't going nowhere. I got a job to do. I'm employed. Like, what? Now, mind you, yes, it could change. They could say, hey, we want to bring Deion in. But at the end of the day, Kevin Stefanski, you need to be worried about saving your job because your team sucks. You just seen the Titans head coach get the boot. That could be happening to you at the end of the season. It could happen to you in the middle of the season. Stefanski is a good offensive mind. I think he's an offensive coordinator that became a head coach. So he's a great offensive mind. But, bro, you can't keep doing this. You tried now Dylan Gabriel, making him throw 52 times. That's just unfair to Dylan Gabriel. I feel bad for the kid. I really do. And it sucks for Shedeur because he's just sitting there. He gets talked about a lot. They want to interview him. They want to ask questions, all that stuff. And all he can do is just remain humble and say, hey, look, man, when my turn comes, my turn comes. But all this is happening while Cleveland's falling flat on their face, and you have a quarterback who is better than what you have currently starting. But you won't give him any burn. You won't even name the man to back up, all because you're worried about losing your job. You ain't going to have a job at the end of the season regardless if Cleveland face tanks and winds up with the top 5 pick. Anybody with a brain in their head can know that. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, bro, like it's unfortunate. Cleveland's got to really get their stuff together, fix it, and get right back on track to being able to do what they need to do. It's very unfortunate that this happened, but it is what it is. So let's move on. Cowboys and the Panthers. This was the upset of the week. I did not expect the Cowboys to take the L here. I definitely expected it to be the Panthers. Excuse me. Both teams scored in every single quarter. Of course, it came down to the wire. It was a 3-point win. This puts the Cowboys at 2-3-1 and puts the Panthers at 3-3. The Panthers have jumped back to 500 and are moving and grooving. They don't look too bad. I'm not mad at the Panthers. Keep doing your thing. Whatever you're doing works. I will definitely look. There it is. That's going to be the case. Yeah, and that's what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Well, hey, there you go, Papa J. Have fun with moms, man. It's always good to hang with your moms. So Dak Prescott, 25, 34, 261 yards, 3 TDs. Bryce Young, 17, 25, 199 yards, 3 TDs. So he threw less and for less yards. It still had the same amount of touchdowns. Not bad. He was only sacked once, so that's a good thing. When you come to look at the rushing, horrible. And this comes on the heels of the fact that you could have had Derrick Henry, but you didn't want him. Good job, Jimmy. Yeah, good job, Jerry Jones. Good job, dummy. Rico, 183 yards. Dallas's rush defense doesn't exist. 183 yards from Rico Dowdle, and his longest carry was 15 yards. So that means he was averaging every bit of that 6.1 yards a carry. That's insane. 108, that's horrible. Jerry, I don't know what you're thinking, man, but trading Michael Parsons didn't help you in any way, shape, or form. I mean, your rush defense with Michael Parsons is trash because he's not really good against the run either way. But, sheesh, man, that is insanity. But, hey, then on the other side, Carolina Panthers, y'all got to get y'all pass defense together. George Pickens, 9 for 168 and a tutty. That's a lot of yards from one dude. So you threw the ball, 261 yards, and you got 168 of them to George Pickens. That's why you see everybody else with slim pickings, pun intended. Rico Dowdle, 4 catches, 56 yards, and a tutty as well. So this man literally had over 200 yards from scrimmage and a touchdown. He's a fantasy owner dream. Definitely so. But you take a look at it, man, and they just out there doing whatever they can. When you take a look at the defensive stuff, Cowboys that 1 sack came from Maurice Liufau. I hope I said that right. And then you come over, you look at the Panthers defense, not really much. Nothing going on there. You come down, you take a look at the kickers. Brandon Aubrey, money. Ryan Fitzgerald, money. So the kickers in this game did their job. It just came down to the wire. And, hey, Panthers got the dub. But that is definitely a very big upset because, for the most part, I don't think anybody expected the Panthers to win that game. I will move on. Jags and the Seahawks. We got 20-12. Seahawks get the dub. Jags didn't score in the second or third quarter. Seahawks didn't score in the fourth. So this one was pretty close. I mean, it's an 8-point game. It's not too bad. 16-27, 295 yards, 2 TDs, only 1 sack from Sam Darnold. Ooh, now I see why they lost the game. 7 sacks allowed. Offensive line. What's going on? This one you can't blame on Trevor Lawrence because Trevor Lawrence ain't a mobile quarterback like that. Can he move? Can he run? Yes, he can. But his game is your typical average, everyday, stand in the pocket, deliver the ball type of QB. That's who he is. You know what I'm saying? So that's a little bit, yes, man. Rest in peace to D'Angelo, man. VA guy. Yeah. RIP to D'Angelo. Definitely sucks, man. Battle with pancreatic cancer. Unfortunately, he lost, but, rest in power, big dog. Kenneth Walker, 10 carries, 34 yards, nothing. So they didn't have any run game. Everything was through the pass game. Then when you come and you take a look at it on the other side of the ball, they ain't no run game either. Travis Etienne was only 27 yards, 59 yards in total, 60 for. So run defenses were stout in this game. Of course, look at JSN, another monster. This is insane. 8 catches, 162 yards, and a touchdown. I'm telling you right now, the top 2 receivers in the league, to me, at this point, are in my division and not on my team. One is named Jackson Smith-Njigba. The other one is named Puka Nacua. These are the top 2 receivers in the league. I don't care what nobody says. You got to respect them. Yes, you love what you get from Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. But right now in the league, the dudes that are at the top that are taking over, Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith-Njigba, these 2 dudes are insane. Gotta love what they do, man. And then 3 for 71. And after that, you know what I'm saying, Cooper Kupp, he finally caught himself a tutty. Nice. Then you got Brian Thomas Jr., 8 catches, 90 yards, 1 TD. Tim Patrick, he had 1 for 26 in the tutty. He had a couple of fumbles, but, nothing was lost. Then you come over, you take a look at the sacks. Drake Thomas with 1. DeMarcus Lawrence had 2. Nwosu and Leonard Williams combined for a sack, and Nwosu had his own other one. Then Byron Murphy with 2. So when you get 7 sacks in the game, yeah, typically you should be winning that game. When it comes down to it, though, kicker was money for Seattle, Jason Myers. Not so much for the Jags. Cam Little, trash. He's just, I don't know what's going on with these kickers. I don't. These kickers ain't making it happen. 20-12. Seahawks get the dub. Let's move on. Rams and the Ravens. Rams get the dub here, 17-3. Let's just say this, and this is going to be quick for this one. If the Ravens don't have Lamar, they don't win. It's just that simple. Okay? Cooper Rush is garbage. The man didn't even throw a touchdown, just threw an interception. Tyler Huntley came in, and that man was sacked 4 times. I don't know, man. I don't know. But when you see Matthew Stafford, he was sacked twice. 181, 1 TD, very pedestrian numbers for Stafford. But Kyron Williams, 13 carries, 50 yards, and 1 TD. It's not bad, sorry. Derrick Henry, 24 carries, 122 yards, but no touchdowns. And Tyler Higbee, 4 for 40 with his 1 TD. Nothing on the other side. Zay Flower, only 6 for 46. That ain't going to work. And then look at this. A couple fumbles, more fumbles here. Like 2 of them lost. There's just a lot going on, man. The Baltimore Ravens fall apart when Lamar isn't on the field. And to be honest with you, I am so sorry. But at the end of the day, I think it's time for them to move on from Jim Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh needs to go somewhere else, start fresh. But at some point, you got to start looking at your head coach and going, hey, man, we ain't winning no games. We ain't winning no playoff games. We're not competing for Super Bowls. And it's time to move on. It truthfully is. Sometimes you have to shuffle coaches around, put them in different places. Maybe they come in, they bring a new light, they bring a new energy. They love the relocation, the scenery, all that. That's great, but sorry, man, this is pretty ugly here. When you take a look at it, 4 sacks by the Rams. Yep, there it is. 4 total sacks. So you got 2 by Byron Young, 1 by Jared Verse, 1 by Laurel Murchison. And you got 2 sacks here. You got Trenton Simpson and Teddy Buchanan. And then you got, 1 from John Jenkins for the Baltimore defense. And then we come and take a look at the kicking. Of course, Tyler Luke, money, but he was only asked to kick 1 dang time. And Joshua Carty, he missed field goals. It still didn't make a difference. You know what I'm saying? If he'd have added 1, it just would have been a 20-3 victory. So you beat him by 17, but him missing that kick, unfortunately, in this game really didn't matter. It was just very ugly, man. You know what I'm saying? The Ravens scored in the first and never scored again. And the Rams didn't score in the first and scored in every quarter except for the fourth. So it just tells you this is exactly how this works. So let's keep it moving. Now we got the Titans and the Raiders. Raiders get the dub here, 20-10. They beat up on the head coachless Titans. Right now they're 2-4. Titans are 1-5. This looks like, just a regular game. Raiders scored in every single quarter. Titans didn't score in the first half, only scored in the second, and that was to their detriment. Cam Ward, 222 yards, one TD. And then you got Geno Smith, 174 yards, one TD, one interception. Both of them had that. But here's the thing. Offensive line woes again. 6 dang sacks. 6. You can't win a game getting sacked 6 times. I'm so sorry. It's never going to work. Tony Pollard, 10 carries, 34 yards. Pathetic. Ashton Jeanty, 23 carries, 75 yards, 1 touchdown. You know what I'm saying? The only touchdown passing was Michael Mayer for 1, and David Martin Robinson with 1. So it's just certain things are just not happening. The offensive line for the Titans is trash. Their defense is garbage. They just need to pull, revamp, and rebuild. Kind of feel bad for Cam Ward because just walked into a horrible situation, but that's typically how it works. When you're a top pick, you're not going to the best of places. They don't always have everything in place. They're usually trying to rebuild and find an infrastructure. And for him to have a head coach get fired, that kind of sucks too. Then you take a look at the defense, not anything different here, you know what I'm saying? But the sacks, Devin White had 1. Max Crosby had 2. John Laulu had 1. Lakey Fotu had 1. So that just tells you it was on. And then when you come down, you take a look at the kickers. Daniel Carlson, money. Even Matthew Wright was money. But at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. You can't not score in the first half and then have your quarterback get sacked 6 times and then expect to win the game. I'm just saying, these are just obvious things. So we're moving on. We are now with the Bengals and the Packers. And I believe the Packers took this from 27-18 after the Bengals have acquired old man Joe Flacco. 29-40, made old man Joe Flacco throw the ball 45 dang times. He was only sacked once. He threw 2 TDs. Jordan Love, 1 TD, 1 interception. He was sacked once. Come over, look at the rushing. Josh Jacobs had 2 rushing TDs, 18 carries, 93 yards. The rushing for the Bengals just didn't exist. Jamar Chase, 10 for 94 with a tutty. T. Higgins, 5 for 62. And then Tanner Hudson was the only other person who caught a touchdown. And then when he comes here, Tucker Kraft caught his TD from Jordan Love. No fumbles by either team. Come in, you take a look at the sacks. Only 1 sack, Geno Stone, and another sack on the other side for Green Bay was Luke Van Ness. He had 1. Mike Parsons only had 3 tackles. You got that 1 interception from Geno Stone. Doesn't look like they took care of it. And this right here, once again, it rears its ugly head because that's 6 points left on the board. That makes this loss a little bit easier because it'd be 24-27 and it doesn't look so bad. But Cincinnati, you only scored in the second half. You didn't score in the first. It's not going to work. You can't do that. You got to at least try to score once every quarter. Now, mind you, Green Bay didn't score in the first or the third, but they scored more than enough to be able to get the dub. So kind of is what it is. His kicks that he missed don't really do anything, only because it wouldn't have won him the game, but at least it would have made it closer and it would have been less of a burn on it. I've already talked about the 49ers and the Bucks game on our game recap. It was pretty ugly. Basically, the 49ers just ran out of hobbled Mac Jones and tried their best to get the dub. But, hey, man, the Bucks did what they had to do, and they made sure that they were there to win that game. Then you take a look at it, the Chiefs and the Lions. Chiefs get to win there 30-17. You know what I'm saying? Lions didn't score in the third quarter, and that was partially due to their own detriment. You take a look at it, Goff, 23-29, 203 yards, 2 TDs. You got Mahomes, 22-30, 3 TDs. And then you come in and take a look at it, Jahmyr Gibbs. He had 17 carries, 65 yards. Pacheco, 12 for 51. The only rushing TD was Mahomes on that side of the ball. And then you take a look at the passing touchdown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. And then you come over here, you got Hollywood Brown with 2, Xavier Worthy with 1. So now that they're back at full strength, the Chiefs seem like they'll be doing okay. They're back at 3-3. The Lions are 4-2. Come over and take a look at the defensive stuff. He only got that 1 sack from Charles Omenihu, ex-49er. And then you take a look at the Lions. They did have 3 sacks. Jack Campbell had 1. Aiden Hutchinson and Mohammed had another. So there you go. And then when you come in, you take a look at the kickers. So Jake Bates was money. Harrison Butker missed an extra point, but didn't really make a difference. They still win the game. So you don't want to miss an extra points, but at the end of the day, it didn't stop anything. So when you take a look at it, you go Monday night, you got the Bills and the Falcons. The Falcons actually get the dub. Bills defense is looking a little bad there. But Josh Allen, 15-26, 180 yards, 2 TDs, threw 2 interceptions, was sacked 4 times. So that tells you Atlanta's defense is moving and grooving, making some moves. James Cook, 17 carries, 87 yards. It's not bad. Come over to the receiving. Of course, Dawson Knox and Ray Davis caught the touchdowns. But then, of course, the 2 interceptions doesn't help you at all. So it looks like each team just kind of traded things. So it was like they both scored in the first. Buffalo didn't score in the second. Then Atlanta didn't score in the third. Then Buffalo didn't score in the fourth. So it just kind of works out. You know what I'm saying? They kind of moved around with how they were scoring after the first quarter. It was like, okay, second quarter, you go ahead. Third quarter, no, you go ahead. Fourth quarter, no, you go ahead. So it's kind of like that as far as that is. Michael Penix Jr., 20 of 32, 258, 1 tutty. Bijan Robinson, 19 carries, 170 yards, 8.9 yards a rush. That is insane. Now, here's the thing. That's 19 carries. His long was 81. So that means that's still 18 carries with almost 90 yards. So, look, all I'm saying is the man can run the ball. Bijan Robinson is a monster. We're going to have a hell of a time trying to stop him next week. Then you got Drake London, 10 catches, 158 yards, 1 tutty. He went off. And then everybody else for the Buffalo Bills did much of nothing. And then you come around, take a look at the sacks, 4 sacks. So you got D. Alford, David Onyemata, you got Sam Roberts, and Rook. I don't know. Oroku. I don't know. He had 1 as well. Come over here. They had their 2 sacks from Javon Solomon and Ed Oliver, but it just wasn't enough. But those 2 interceptions, that's the key there. You can't throw those 2 picks. I think you're going to win the game like that. And then, of course, Matt Prater was money on his extra points because that's all he was asked to do. Parker Romo, he missed a field goal, but he was money on his extra points. So it is what it is, man. Falcons get the dub, and that's just how you make it happen. Give me 1 second. And then final game of the week. Let's take a look at it. Bears versus Commanders. Now, this one stings a little bit because the game-winning kick was made by none other than Jake freaking Moody. So Jake Moody can't win no games for us. He can't kick no game-winning field goals for us, but he can go elsewhere and kick a game-winning field goal. Maybe a change of scenery was what the man needed. But I can say this, it is all right, man, have a good one, TD. But at the end of the day, man, hey, look, guy went somewhere else and made a name for himself. That's good. But he ain't out there doing nothing crazy. Caleb Williams, 17-29, 252 yards, 1 tutty. Jay Daniels, 19-26, 3 TDs, 1 interception. He was sacked 3 times. So was Caleb Williams. You look at the rushing. There was only 1 TD from Caleb Williams rushing, none from the Washington Commanders. Then you come and you look at the receiving, not a lot going on there. Chris Moore, 3 for 46, and tutty. Zach Ertz, 6 for 43. And then Luke McCaffrey, 1 for 33. Then you come over here, you got DeAndre Swift, who had the only touchdown. Everybody else wasn't really doing much as far as Chicago receiving goes. And then you come down, you take a look at it, a couple fumbles. And that's probably part of it. Just those fumbles alone can ruin the game for you. When you take a look at this, you got the sacks. Just 1.5 looks like Gervon Dexter Sr. and half a sack from Dominique Robinson. Come over here, you got 3 sacks. You got that half a sack split between Von Miller and Dorrance Armstrong. And then you have the other 2 sacks from Frankie Louvu and Jeremy Reeves. Then you come down, you take a look at the kicking. Jake Moody, 4 of 5. And then 1 of 1 on his extra points. And then Matt Gay, 1 of 2, 3 of 3 on his extra points. If Matt Gay makes his kick, the Commanders don't lose. Once again, that's there. This kick was blocked, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I got from my buddy Josh. He was telling me the kick was blocked. So at the end of the day, what happens with that is you can't really control that. If that kick is blocked and it comes up the gut, there's nothing the kicker can really do about it. If it's coming off the edge, unfortunately, I like to blame the kicker on that because it is what it is. But that's the recap for this week, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get in here and get a shower in and get cleaned up. Just came from the gym, but I figured I'd give y'all that game recap. I'm gonna hit y'all with a couple of shorts here. We'll talk about some of the beat downs of the week. We're gonna talk about the top 5 guys for receiving, rushing, and passing, and we'll go from there, man. But other than that, thank y'all for hanging in and tuning out, coming in and hanging out with your boy. He said movie instead of Kobe. Calm down. But thank y'all so much for chilling with me. Tell a friend, tell another friend, and definitely, man, I only need a couple more to get to that 600 mark. I'm trying to get there. Once I get there, definite celebration. But thank y'all for hanging out with your boy. Everybody stay up, stay faithful, stay blessed, and have a wonderful day.